Tonight, Governor Ben Ayade talks tough on illegal wood loggers. Federal Road Safety Corps, National Orientation Agency stage campaign on proper use of roundabouts. Plus, first batch of Nigerians arrived by Abuja from Ukraine. A very good evening to you and thank you for joining us on the news tonight. I am Achibombasi. The forests play a socio-economic and other vital roles in the lives of the people, which is why the Cross River State's governor, Professor Ben Ayade, is promising to deal decisively with illegal loggers who bring about deforestation, leading to climate change and food insufficiency in the country. Governor Ayade issued the Riot Act during a press briefing in Calabar. Paul Abel reports.
Cross River State has a total of 58% forest cover of Nigeria. But sadly, in the past few years, it has been a difficult task to prevent armed illegal wood loggers from their environmental degradation activities, despite government setting up task forces and provision of motivation to arrest such people. It is arising from this background, Governor Ben Ayade is expressing growing concern over the depletion of the forest cover, promising to prosecute culprits, colluding government officials and security personnel.
Let me sound a note of final warning that I can't watch the complete degeneration of our forests as we see illegal logging becoming the order of the day. Anybody caught at sight, caught with illegal wood, your vehicle, your driver, the occupants of that vehicle, the place where you deliver the wood to, and the government official who is colluding, or the security officials who are colluding, or the forest guard who is colluding, or the military officers who are colluding, we will pick all of you, and once we pick you, we are going to deal decisively.
In order to create a balance for the use of wood for construction purposes while preserving the forest, Governor Ayade also solicits professional solutions on the ongoing massive deforestation in the country.
This is also an issue that is open to the public to also provide advice, because I think that it is against all of this background that we as a government decided to collaborate with the government of France for the commercial cultivation of bamboo. So I call on all professionals to join me as we seek solutions to the issue of massive deforestation that is going on across Nigeria.
The governor also revealed that his administration has provided over 40,000 seedlings for reforestation in different phases to protect and conserve the forest. In Calabar, Paul Abel, Nta News.
Supporting the youth to achieve effective and good governance in Nigeria will not only help the nation attain greatness, but reduce youth restiveness and unemployment. This was a submission of the National Youth Council of Nigeria at a launching of Youth O'Clock Agenda, an initiative to encourage active participation of the youth in politics. Udra Eton reports.
Building the youth for greater achievement, especially in politics, brought about the declaration of Youth O'Clock Agenda in Calabar by the National Youth Council of Nigeria. This initiative is to encourage Nigerian youths to get actively involved in politics, thereby ensuring good governance that will facilitate economic growth and nation building.
We are here to say the youth are ready to rise to leadership, to evaluate ourselves and see, as we inch towards 2023, what is our level of preparedness?
We occupy 75% of the population of society, so any leadership that is centered on humanity must focus more on supporting young people.
A motion for adoption of the Youth O'Clock Agenda was moved by the member representing Central Senatorial District at the Nigerian Youth Parliament, Gifted Nelson, and was seconded by the chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Abia State, Smith Silvanus. Speaker, Cross River State House of Assembly, Ethan Williams, and others advised the youths to shun violence and thuggery as the 2023 general elections draws closer.
They should get prepared, train themselves, and be able to take over. You don't take over power when you're not ready.
The event brought together various youth organizations from the 36 states of the Federation to chart the way forward for a better Nigeria. In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTN News.
And in line with its mandate to ensure safety of vehicular movement on the road, the Federal Road Safety Corps has continued to keep motorists alert on basic ways of using the road to avoid accidents. Arit Ndek reports that this time the focus Federal Road Safety Corps, Traffic Management and Regulatory Agency staged a sensitization campaign at one of the major roundabouts in Calabar on proper ways of using the roundabout.
Roundabout is a type of circular intersection flow in one direction around a central island, and priority is typically given to traffic already in a junction. And so, since most roads or highways in Nigeria are designed and constructed with roundabouts at designated axes, it becomes imperative that motorists align with traffic rules on better ways of applying themselves when approaching or around a roundabout. This is why the Federal Road Safety Corps and Cross River State Traffic Management and Regulatory Agency, in collaboration with National Orientation Agency, stages this sensitization campaign to reawaken the consciousness of motorists while on the road.
We observe that there has been crashes on the roundabout, and if care is not taken, it can become fatal. And so that's why we are taking this proactive step to come and sensitize the people on the proper use of roundabout.
Because we have decided to relaunch that particular home message we used to have in our days, that we must give way to traffic on the left. As a small child, it was domesticated. Now we want to domesticate it back in our different homes.
By the time we have seen that, yes, a lot of road crashes happen at the roundabout. And if they give way to traffic on the left, we will avoid those road crashes.
At the campaign, road safety stakeholders using native languages admonishes motorists and other road users to always be conscious of road signs and traffic management. In Calabar, Arit Ndem, NTA News.
You are watching news reaching you from the studios of NTA Calabar. You can watch this newscast on our YouTube channels at YouTube/NTA Calabar. Let's go take a break. See you shortly. Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo has reminded regulatory agencies of their role as supporters of business operators and not the opposite, describing business owners as key pillars who are holding the nation's economy. The Vice President says a good business environment is needed for their growth and survival. This was when the Vice President met with the inaugural cohort of the Africa Initiative Governance Public Leadership Program. State House correspondent Jide Unifade reports.
The whole point is that we want the regulator to understand that you are a facilitator, you are a business facilitator. If you are not facilitating business, if you are not making it easier for people to do business, then we have a problem.
There is certainly a problem with some officials of the regulatory authorities creating bottlenecks and making the environment hostile to business operators. Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo says this must not be the case. The reason, he says, government introduced the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Clinic aimed towards assisting business to grow.
And our people are very enterprising. They want to do business. And so we ought to be able to support that. So performance must be determined by fidelity to the ultimate values that we pursue. What we want is an economy that is robust and prosperous. The only way by which we should be able to judge the performance of regulatory agencies is how are you faithful to those values.
The Vice President refers to entrepreneurs as the real job creators and calls on the cohorts of the Public Leaders Program to take the lead in championing the reform in their various offices.
Great things happen when connections reinforce and reinforce and reinforce. So, Your Excellency, whilst they thought they were coming to greet and brief you, they didn't realize that they were coming to the source of that which they are enjoying today.
Skills and knowledge we have received from University of Oxford, and to tell him that we are ready to work as agents of change in the public sector. And for me and for my capstone project, I've already started working on how to leverage on ICT so as to overcome our technical challenge in my organization, Nigerian Television Authority, which is the African largest television network, so that we can be able to reach the unreached across the globe.
From the banquet hall of the State House, Jide Onifade, Nta News.
The first batch of 450 Nigerians based in Ukraine have arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, at about 7 o'clock in the morning, Friday, via Romania. The evacuation, which was conducted by the federal government, began on Thursday with hundreds of returnees already in Abuja going through COVID-19 tests. The sum of $100 has been provided by the federal government to be given to each of the returnees upon arrival. The Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Zubairu Dada, said countries where the pickup flights will be headed includes Poland, Hungary, Slovakia, and Romania. 2 flights from APs and 1 from Max Air are expected to carry out the evacuation exercise. Members of the ECOWAS Parliament at a parliamentary seminar in Liberia want the implementation of ECOWAS Vision 2050 to align with the Sustainable Development Goals and the African Union Agenda. Here is Onengie Fineface with details from Monrovia.
This gathering of members of the ECOWAS Parliament in Monrovia is to give context to the 2050 vision of ECOWAS, paying particular attention to opportunities for its implementation. Specific objectives of the Parliamentary Seminar include strengthening and consolidating the collaborative relationship between the ECOWAS Commission and the Community Parliament in implementing the 2050 vision.
The ECOWAS Vision 2050 should not be yet another document kept in drawers and shelved in archives only for reference. You as members of Parliament must ensure that this document becomes a mechanism that can lead to the eradication of poverty and diseases while also addressing the issue of hunger among our people.
MPs will also deliberate on the strategic directions of the vision, define a convergence between the ECOWAS Vision 2050 and that of the Sustainable Development Goals SDGs 2030, as well as the African Union Agenda 2063.
We are convinced that with a vision document that defines our regional priorities, we can make much progress in the areas of good governance, sustainable development, capacity enhancement, economic growth, and most importantly, peace and security.
Other thematic areas of the seminar include financing, monitoring, evaluation, and periodic review of the vision. In Monrovia, Onengie Fineface, Nta News.
With the increasing negative impact of climate change on man and environment, experts are calling for conservation and protection of wetlands for the sustenance of the ecological health of the environment. Environment correspondent Charity James has details of his report.
Wetlands are areas where water covers the soil, present at or near surface of the soil all year round. Creeks, water valleys, lakes, floodplains, and lagoons are some examples of wetlands. Research has proven that Nigeria is a country with wetlands, and most of these wetlands are found in the Niger Delta region, and Akwa Ibom State is not an exception. These wetlands, experts say, are important in the ecosystem and economic development because they form the center of biodiversity.
Biodiversity means different life forms are found around wetlands. Different life forms, plants, animals, birds are attracted to wetlands, particularly birds. If wetlands were to be destroyed, these birds would also diminish and become extinct. So importance of wetland has since been established.
Considering the importance of wetlands to the ecosystem and biodiversity, what are actions and inactions of man that affect wetlands?
Some people refuel it and build, but if it's not okay, the professionals, the engineers would advise their clients not to build on such places.
Naturally, it is a wetland. Water is meant to stay there, but then because of the sake of infrastructure and building, people will just fill it and build. Number one, it's not even safe for them.
Since the importance of wetlands to the development of the environment cannot be overemphasized, experts warn against destroying the wetlands, while awareness on conservation of the wetlands should be encouraged. In Uyo, Charity James, NTA News.
Terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, insurgency, and other forms of violence, extremism have been identified as factors undermining the peace-building efforts and development of reintegration of the country. This was the position of speakers at a one-day national security campaign organized by the National Orientation Agency in Umuahia, Abia State. Steve Lunai Nwakolo completes the report.
The sensitization workshop towards building a people of peace and the enhancement of national security, the State Director, National Orientation Agency, Abia State, Ngozi Okechukwu, said could not have come at a better time than now that the country is grappling with the many challenges that are stagnating the national development.
Trying to continue discussions on the degrading and deteriorating war with terrorists, bandits, kidnappers, radicalization, and other forms of violent extremism that undermine the peace of our society.
Other speakers at the event sued for concerted efforts towards addressing the social malaise in the country.
What national intelligence is doing today is germane, is fundamental. It speaks to our current need as a nation and a state.
To fight insecurity and engender peace, sensitization campaigns like these by the National Orientation Agency and of course Ministry of Information is commendable.
High points of the National Security Workshop were the investiture of Grand Patron and patrons of the War Against Indiscipline Brigade, presentation of awards to some deserving Abians, as well as the unveiling of the National Orientation Agency magazine titled Building and Securing a Safer Nigeria for All.
In Umuahia, Steve Lonai Nwaokolo, NTA News.
And that is the size of a package for tonight. But before we go, let's look at some of the stories that make the headlines. Governor Ben Ayade has issued a riot act to illegal wood loggers in Cross River State. The Federal Road Safety Corps, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency, staged a sensitization campaign on proper ways of using the roundabout. We also told you that the first batch of 450 Nigerians based in Ukraine have arrived to the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Thank you so much for staying with us. To have a pleasant evening.